So today we're going to talk about a little thing called negative exponents. So in this here, there's a little analogy that we like to use about living in an apartment that makes this so much easier for you guys to understand. So when we have negative exponents, we think about someone that lives in an apartment. So some people prefer to live on the first floor. So when you live on the first floor of an apartment, you don't have to walk up the stairs. You're able to just walk straight into your house, go into your apartment, you're good to go. So some people are very happy on the first floor. So if you've ever lived in an apartment, think about what you prefer. Do you like to live on the first floor? No stairs, no elevator, you just go straight into your apartment. Then there's other people that prefer to live on the second floor. Because why does everyone like to live on the top floor or the second floor of an apartment? Because there's no one above you. So if you're on the second floor, you don't have to hear people walking all day long, walking over your head like people on the first floor do. But also living in Houston, we flood here all the time here lately. So if you're on the second floor and it floods, you're probably more likely to be safe with your stuff. Whereas if there's a flood, first floor, you're not doing so well. So different people prefer different floors. So some people like to live on the second floor, while some people like to live on the first floor. So when we look at a fraction, let's use this for an example. Okay, so in this example, think about this fraction as being an apartment, okay? So in this apartment, we've got these guys living on the second floor, and we have these ones living on the first floor. So what you notice is that there's this guy living up here who's not very happy. He's negative. See that negative? That means he doesn't want to live up there. He says, second floor, ugh, I don't like to walk up the stairs. So he's not happy up there. Meanwhile, there's this guy downstairs who doesn't want to live there either. He's also a negative guy. He doesn't want to live there because he has a negative. So he does not like the first floor. So what we need to do before we do any solving is we need to make them happy. So if you look, y to the sixth, he's fine. He likes to live up there. He's nice and positive. The exponent is positive, so it stays where it is. This one here, y to the third, he likes to live on that first floor. He's happy. He's positive. So if this one here was negative upstairs, what we're going to do is we're going to move him to the first floor. And when he gets there, he loses his negative. He's so much happier there. And then this guy down here that was on the first floor, he did not like it. He was negative. So we move him up to the top floor. So that way he's positive. And when you move him, he loses his negative sign. So we have to switch everyone that's unhappy and put them on the floor that they want to live in. Now I can simplify it. What you learned in the last video is that when exponents are stacked, you subtract. So that's x to the sixth. Again, exponents are stacked, so you subtract. So that's y to the third. And this is our final answer. So when we think about negative exponents, we are thinking about making sure we move them to the floor that will make them happier. So let's go into your notes, and we're going to write that same thing. So step one, we're going to circle and move negative exponents. Step two, we're going to use the division rule from last time, the quotient rule, or sometimes we might have to use the multiplication rule, you'll see in just a minute, to be able to solve the answer. So if you look at example one, it's a little blurry, but it works. So in example one, I'm going hunting for people that are unhappy. This dude, not happy, doesn't want to live on the second floor. He's got a negative. This one here, also unhappy, got a negative, not very happy. So we start by circling the negative exponent and move it to the other floor. So x to the 6th was unhappy on the first floor, so I moved into the second floor. X to the 2nd, unhappy on the second floor, so I moved into the first floor. So now I have no negative exponents, so step 1 is done. So step 2 says use the quotient rule, or the product multiplication rule, to solve it. So in this one here, my exponents are stacked, so I subtract. That leaves me with x raised to the 4th power. Let's try it again. Let's go to, we'll go a little out of order. Let's do example 3. So in example 3, the exponent is negative right there. The exponent is negative right there. Step 1, circle the negative exponents. So I'm going to write what was happy. 16 was good. X to the 12th was good. 4 was happy down there. X to the 4th was happy down there. This did not want to live on the first floor, so I move it to the second floor, and it loses its negative. This did not want to live upstairs, so we move him downstairs, and now it's positive. So we're done. So now step 1, again, is finished. Step 2, use that quotient rule. 16 divided by 4 is the number 4. When exponents are stacked, you subtract. 12 minus 4 is 8. These y's are stacked, so I subtract. Easy. Circle those negative exponents, move it to the other floor. Let's do these last 2 examples. Example 2. Here's a negative exponent. Don't circle the 10, just the base, just the letter it's attached to. So in this one here, the 10 was happy on the top. He gets to stay. Y to the 3rd, that's an 3. Is that an 8? It's an 8. I think it's an 8. Sorry, guys, it's blurry. There you go. Y to the 8th was happy upstairs. First floor, guys, 20 was good. X to the 6th was good. They were happy. They were positive exponents. So I need to move x to the 4th downstairs, make him happy. And I need to move y to the 2 upstairs to make him happy. So now 10 over 20 reduces to the number 1 over 2. These are not stacked. They're the same letter, but they're next to each other. So there are 10 y's that live on the second floor now. Down here, there are 10 x's that live on the first floor. So this is your answer. One more. In example 4, we've got a 3 on the outside. So I'm going to draw my 3 blanks, just like we did last week. And I'm putting this on my blanks. Whatever was inside is what goes on your blanks. Okay, multiply all your big numbers. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. X to the negative 5, x to the negative 5, x to the negative 5. That makes a total of negative 15. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Okay, so we multiply the big numbers, we count our x's, and we count our y's. So now on the STAR test, when they've tested this question, they just leave that x to the negative 15 right there. We could drop it below because it was a negative, but we can just leave it like there for that one. Okay, so I want you to try using that same method on our next practice page here. So step 1, you circle the negative exponents with its base, whatever its base was with the exponent, and you move them. Number 2, you use the division or multiplication rule once those negatives are gone. So go ahead and try numbers 1 through 8. You're only circling negative exponents, the letter with the negative exponent. You're not circling negative whole numbers, negative coefficients. That gets to stay where it is. It's only the exponents that are going to move. Okay, so try through those, and then you're all set.